Hey, True Believers, Englentine here, and I wanted to talk about this article here. Where it's one more from Bill Willingham. Now, one thing I didn't know, he's the writer for Fables. I did know that. I'm just telling you. And a great series called Elementals. I recommend everybody check out. But he wrote an article, and it's called "When Our Hearts Were Young and Gay." One thing I didn't know is he's the guy who created Tim Drake's boyfriend. So I guess he's a little bit of an expert on the subject of who this kid was supposed to be. So it starts off, he says, when our hearts were young and gay, and it starts off going, no, this was written August 28th when all of this started. So then Tim Drake is gay now, see? And we get a page out of the comic. The recent revelation has been dealt with both pro and con to an exhaustive extent in other articles, videos, and so forth. So I won't retread that here. Even though I wrote the character of Tim Drake for just over a year of his Robin's run, he's not mine. I didn't create him. Through the retroactive legal magic of work for hire, DC Comics created him, owns him, and can do whatever in its corporate wisdom it wants with him. But I want to deal just a bit with that other guy, the fella Tim Drake plans to be gay with. The character's name is Bernard Dowd, and I created him. Here's his first appearance in my first issue writing Robin. And he has a little scene from him. All right, let's see if I can't get through this because I just turned off what I was sharing here. He goes on to say, yes, I know when dealing with work for hire, it means DC Comics actually created him, as I admitted above. But before the retroactive reality imposed itself, I conceived the character, wrote his first appearance, wrote many subsequent appearances, and decided who he would be and who he wouldn't be. Only then, by submitting those stories and accepting DC's paycheck, the magic kicked in, and it turns out DC created everything all along. As originally conceived, Bernard Dowd was many things, but he wasn't gay. I can know this for certain because, unlike living historical figures, it's possible to know the secret inner workings of a fictional character. And this is absolutely agreeable. See, not only do we see the inner thoughts of Iceman or Tim Drake, we see, well, I was about to say, not only do we see the actions and such, we see the inner thoughts. So what they're saying now is, well, they weren't sure about their sexuality, so they became gay. No. They didn't, because this has been going on and on and on and on forever and a day that they're not gay. But there's this thing that goes on. It's not recent. I've got a friend who he's gay, and he believes that any straight man just needs a good, and they'll go gay for him. And you see it all the time. Oh my gosh, those two women are friends. They must be gay. Those two guys are friends. Let's ship them. Captain Bucky and Civil War in the movies and such got that off to a start as well. But you do see in comic books, you do see the inner thoughts, and there's no curiosity. There's no doubt in Tim Drake's mind for 30 freaking years. Okay. Let's see. First in Tim's big, hold on, where am I? I lost it. Because the author wrote them. Okay, here we go. It is possible to know the secret inner workings of a fictional character because they are whatever the author wrote them to be. And in the case of Bernard Dowd, he liked girls. He had a crush on Tim Drake's hot stepmother, and that's about it for the romantic sexual front. There were no other deep hidden secrets to uncover. No big deal. So then what's my point? Bill says. Why bring this up? I don't have a compelling reason other than to make two observations. First, in Tim's big coming out scene, not one but two fictional characters had been retconned to make it happen. More than one beloved funny book character had to be repurposed. And yes, this may be a pride of authorship rearing its ugly head, but I like Bernard. Would it be too much to ask all of you, crusading journalists of text and video, to dig a little deeper into your investigations? Sure, Tim is the uncontested headline of the story, but Bernard is parallel. His transformation deserves at least a mention, right? Second, unlike historical living people, fictional characters can be changed at a whim. And you can even go back in the past to do it. You can add evidence that wasn't there before. You can remove evidence that was there before. You can redraw or re-letter scenes to conform to the new reality as someone online already had done with this scene above. Now, if you look above, it said, oh man, oh man, oh man, Drake, your stepmom is hot. And he's like, Bernard. And then somebody rewrote it to say, oh man, oh man, oh man, Drake, you are so hot. You could do anything you like because these characters don't actually exist and never did. This does, however, open a larger discussion on the advisability of doing work for hire, knowing, or at least you should have known, that the new legal creator can do anything it wants with your creation. Maybe we'll explore that someday. And then he says, by the way, this article will likely inspire questions, and if you have any, send them to him. Some dude named Milo says, Chuck Dixon said it best. It's uncalled for, immature, and who'll read it? Kids definitely won't. Then again, shouldn't this comic be for kids? And since Bernard's comment about Dana takes place during Stephanie Brown's tenure as Robin, I definitely noticed and was bugged about the change. I could definitely see the argument that Bernard is overcompensating for his internalized homophobia. That's what a lot of people are saying about it as well. Personally, it's just, I do want these writers to believe that these characters are three-dimensional, that they're real. I've said this many times on live streams, that if the writer cannot believe in the character, then how are they going to get us to believe in the character? And if we don't believe in the character, then how can we care what happens to the character? See, so when you hear a writer or artist just go, they're just fictional characters, that's a bad writer. That is a bad writer right there, because they need to believe in them to make us believe in them, period, hands down. I am against this, by the way, and that translates to all of the people on the other side going, oh, you hate homosexual characters. Oh, shut the freaking hell up. That's not what I said, and you know it, but you have to bend it that way to make an argument. I say make new characters. They say, but they're not famous like the older ones. They want a free ride for their message. They don't care about the story. If they cared about the story, a new character wouldn't matter. If they thought this was something people really wanted, a new character wouldn't matter. What you see with Bill Willingham, where he's talking about, if you do work for hire, you run the risk of things you create being turned and twisted into ways you didn't mean them to be. It's really saying, you know what? There's gold in them there hills. Go on out. Do your own Kickstarter. Do your own Indiegogo. Do your own project, and you 100% control the narrative and the character. This has been going on with independent comic creators for a long time. We're seeing a lot of the professional creators come into it. I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't want the independent comic creators, the ones that are usually on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, to get kicked to the curb for them. I think one of the cool things is that modern day, anybody's got a voice. One of the great things about YouTube and is that anybody can have a voice. One of the worst things is that YouTube doesn't value. And I guess I understand they're selling advertisements, and let's face it, Will Smith gets a lot more views than I do. But it should still at least be respected, right? Not just this. I'm talking about the Kickstarter. I think the independent comic book creators should get respect, just like the main, the professional comic creators. Let the market decide, basically. Anyway, that's what I have to say about all this. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and pop on one of these videos that are coming up here. I think you'll enjoy those too. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, Ko-Fi link in the description below. Thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.